for the drop in the feed, but you're still here talking about issues men. And just before we went off, there was a discussion we were having around the bringing up of our men, the young men, and whether they are shortchanged in as far as the transfer of values, character, and responsibilities, as was done in the times of old. So Dr. Barak was just making some comments around it, and I would like just to throw it back to him. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so what you were saying is that I'm reliving days of old where it took the whole village to raise this African child, where raising a child was not only the responsibility of the nuclear family, but the extended family and even the community within which they lived was their responsibility to bring up this child. But with modernization, we have seen families living in their own secluded, segregated corners and scarcely ever interacting with their extended families or even neighbors. Here in Nairobi, we barely get to interact with neighbors for those of us who live in urban setups. As I was saying, perhaps I actually miss those old days where if a neighbor came across a child who's misbehaving, it was actually their duty to reprimand you, and they would even lay a whooping on you if they found you misbehaving. So it is actually the responsibility of the society. But the more we have advanced and modernized, we have advanced in terms of technology and whatnot, but morally, socially, our social fabric is getting disintegrated by the day, I would say.
Oh. So are we abdicating that duty, Fred, to, let's say, the academic institutions? Because nowadays we put more and more pressure on the academic institutions, saying that there's a lot of more private institutions, as was back in the day when we were growing up, when we were all in public schools.
True, to a great extent, the society has abdicated on its role in as far as raising the children are concerned. But it's a generational thing. I just turned 40, so I may be in a very different generational mind frame from my fellow panelists. What has happened is that in the wake of the technological advancement, the internet came, and the responsibility of teaching children and young men on what to do or how to approach life was left to technology. Right now, you go and when Google gives you data on what people search for, is basically people trying to learn how to live life, how to seduce, what to eat, how to exercise, how to.
Yes.
That role used to be a societal role.
Yes.
It used to be, as Dr. Harris said, it's the entire society, the whole society. It's not just the parents. It was everyone's role to bring up a child. Right now, because we know they will teach themselves, it's life made much easier for us parents, for the society. So the parents have become relaxed. They don't need to teach because, after all, are provided Wi-Fi.
Yes.
You will teach yourself, you know.
Yeah.
And with that now comes all these other ills. Children have taught themselves even how to commit suicide. Through the internet.
Right.
They've taught themselves, because the problem with technology is that there are no. You see, with teaching, there has to be a curriculum. There has to be something put in order.
Yeah.
But when you go to the internet, there are no controls.
Yes.
So yes, you might learn some valuable things that may help you, but you'll also learn a lot of other things that are not necessarily of help to you. And with that, children have known to be self-reliant, which is a good thing, but also they've learned how to become destructive as well. They know how to undermine authority. They know how to undermine even the systems. They're learning how to hack systems. You know, if at all things do not go my way, I know I can burn, I can cause fire, and I know the repercussions of that. It's that the school will be shut down and they go home, without necessarily thinking of what else this destruction will mean. So yes, the abdication came because of the technology to a large extent, but that has resulted in so many other things. Yes.
Peter, you growing up with this generation, so where have you picked up any manhood lessons, and how is that? How was that for you?
Okay. Okay, in our generation, yes, we have access to technology. We have access to a lot of information. But I'll just try to not to be biased, but technology has helped us basically as the young generation to access information. Like now, as a young person, I can be able to know what like I can be able to search on how to be a man, like the characteristics, like to approach a lady, basically it has opened doors where I can be able not to access information without consulting. So previously in our society it was like a predefined, like a man box idea where you are like it's a set of rules, like you as a man you need to grow up, be like this. But nowadays I believe because of technology and the exposure that you're getting with the technology, we're able to learn for ourselves. So for me, I find it as a positive thing, and I find it as it has helped actually the young generation to be able to be good, to be better, and and to be and basically to be a better man. Yeah.
All right. Don't you think, and this goes to any of you who can jump in, the aspect of one-on-one lessons, just seeing it modeled before you, as opposed to picking out this information? Because nowadays we have so many podcasts out there, we have a lot on YouTube content creations around manhood, being a man, what it takes, what to do, what not to do, even from people who may not be an authority, may actually be deviating most of our young men towards the wrong direction. Like you alluded to, Fred, they're even learning suicide from the internet. So are we substituting the place of learning from technology, from your your one-on-ones, and just seeing it modeled before you, to now picking it from internet?
Well, it's true, because, and I'll give you an example. There's every Saturday morning, if you are on Twitter, there's something called hashtag Masculinity Saturday, and you will find the following on that thread is massive. It just goes to inform you that there's a hunger for young men to be taught, or to be given a sense of direction, to be told this is where you should go, this is how a man should behave, this is what makes you a man. Yes, there's access to the internet, but there's still that hunger. Because if at all the internet was giving something satisfactory, then that forum would not necessarily have that kind of massive following. I'm not saying it's a bad forum, but you can actually see the hunger that's driving people to that. It's a discussion about, yet it's one person who's not known. You can't really say this person does this, or this is a person. We do not know the credentials. We do not know the educational background. We do not know what he's basing his ideas on. But everyone is there looking for something. So there's still a hunger for men to be taught how to become men. Yes.
And I would say freedom, as Gadecha alluded to, freedom comes with responsibilities. It is not just unfettered freedom. You see, you learn things on the internet. One-on-one learning comes with, I know I'm an authority in this sector, I will teach you about this, but then I will also teach you the consequences of doing this and whatnot, which is actually what the young people do not find on the internet. They will teach you how to commit suicide. They do not necessarily teach you the impact on the society or your immediate family after you commit this act. So I wouldn't necessarily want to substitute one-on-one learning with just learning from technology. Freedom has to come with certain responsibilities that are taught better when it's one-on-one from an authority. A lot of information that is posted outside there on the internet, frankly speaking, majority is not from known authorities. Somebody will come to tell you how to treat diabetes in 2 days, but are they an authority in that sector? Have they done research? Has it been validated? So be careful with a lot of the information that you find outside there in the media. It's not necessarily true, but simply because somebody has got access to the internet and YouTube and is famous and they post something, they actually influence quite a large number of people, which may be detrimental to some extent.
Wow. Let's talk matters mental health. I know one of the aspects about men is that men will have very long conversations around ideas, sports, business, but never had issues, right? I know, and mostly that is what inclines us towards mental health issues. So you find anxiety attacks, you have panic attacks, and you wonder why. And then, most recently, I had one of my friends in an institution. But you realize when you go there, you're actually one of the 2 or 3 people who know they're there. So in the aspect that they hide that part of their lives. So how important is that aspect of vulnerability to your peers or even to your mentors for men? You can start as a friend.
Okay. It's one of those things that we're getting awakened to. The fact that mental health is a reality. From the African setup, it was not something that we used to discuss. It's either you're okay or wewe ni mwenda wazimu. But more and more we're finding that more and more people are struggling with this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the men who are suffering more. I'm not saying women do not suffer from mental health issues.
Yeah.
They do. And mental health matters across board. But it's the way men handle their issues. Probably even our parents handled them the same way. Our fathers were not used to talking about the matters of the heart. Were they committing suicide? Maybe not as much as now. Yeah. And the fact that we do not share, and I have a very sad story. About a month ago, we had to lay to rest one of my primary school colleagues. He was doing well in life, comes from a well-off family.
Yes.
He has a beautiful wife and family. He drives a big car. He just drove that car somewhere, took some poison and died.
Wow.
Yet this is someone who had met a few weeks earlier. We bumped into each other in town and we talked, and he did not appear like he had any issue. We've met before, we've had a good sit down, and he did not talk about any issue. So we have these interactions as men.
Yeah.
You can sit with a man for hours, enjoy your drinks, enjoy food, enjoy good music, discuss a lot of other things. You said people discuss ideas and so many things, but matters of the heart, that's a no-go zone. Yet those are the things that break us down.
That's true.
It's not always money. Yeah. It's when you feel vulnerable and you feel, no, the world is against me. I do not really know exactly what goes on. But I know that matters of the heart really, really put us down.
Wow. Victor.
You know, going back to my definition of health, for you to say you are truly healthy, it's not absence of disease only, but disease also mental health. You must take care of your mental health. You know, we've been socialized or brought up as men to believe that jikaze kimwanaume, men do not cry. But you know what? The big fallacy outside there that we've been socialized to believe is, you know, actually men do get stressed out. Same equally as women.
Yeah.
They get stressed in their workplaces. Men do get burnout, which unfortunately we've been running away from.
Yes.
It is okay to actually feel stressed out, to feel burnt out once in a while. And we need to accept that reality as men. And these things actually drive us to, a lot of men are hooked to alcohol, substance abuse, cigarette smoking, and yet not realizing. You find every other evening a man has to go to meet his buddies in a joint over a crate of beer or 2. And more they become dependent on this. It becomes not only physical dependence but also psychological dependence. That even in the morning you cannot go to work without taking a tot. They call it kutoa lock. But in actual sense, this person is actually hooked or addicted to that. consequences of just not talking about stresses that affect them in everyday life. So mental health is actually very important, and as men, the way we've been socialized or brought up, we've put it has taken a backseat sort of, but it's actually the elephant in the room. These issues need to be brought to the fore. They need to be addressed, and we need to accept as men that it is actually okay for a man to go to hospital to get checkup, even if they are not physically unwell. I mean, we have accepted that it is all right for a lady to once in a while go to hospital for checkup.
Yeah.
But what about men? How many have been told that it is actually okay for you to go get a checkup though you're not feeling well?
I'll come back to that because we also have to discuss the aspect of men being just late diagnosis of actually some advanced diseases happens mostly for men because they rarely go. But I just want to hear from the Generation Z. You know, are we hearing more and more of suicide cases, more and more of funny things around the Generation Z? What do you think is going on in that space?
Okay, first just to add to what my panelists have said, basically what is happening is when it comes to mental health, we are living in a society where we have the toxic masculinity, where like a man is not supposed to cry, like a man should be a man. If you fall, you need to be strong. You have to have that endurance. You have to have that. You don't have to have that empathy on things. So it's a society which has brought us as men like that, and as the young generation. So you find we lack a podium to address our challenges, like what you're going through. And for me, what I normally advocate for is reaching out. Yes, we are stereotyped, like only men. They'll think about sports. They'll think about going out for a beer. They'll think about hanging out. But we need to have those sessions where we are talking about life in general. And one thing I'll advise the young people is that you should not be alone in any setup. When you have those thoughts, it happens. Even for me, I normally get those thoughts. Like you feel like you're not progressing in life. You feel like you're not moving forward. You feel like it's not that you don't have money. It's not that you don't have a job. But sometimes you feel like you're not progressing in life. Like your peers are moving, your peers are getting new cars, and you're there. You're not growing. And then the notion of social media, where like everyone. If guys are faking their lifestyle, as in guys, like you find your peers like showing off what they have, the luxury lifestyle they have. So you find you get like a feeling like you're not moving forward, and people are using the technology against, or rather showing us what they don't have, using the defects. Those are like defects and VFX, where people. Nowadays, because of technology, you can pretend literally you're in Dubai and you're in Kenya. It's true. So, yes. So me as a young person, and I'm seeing another young person doing the same thing, enjoying life, I'll get definitely depressed, anxiety attacks. So I think the young people, we need to talk. We need to have those man talks. And actually, my peers know we need to talk, as in like me, I reach out. Even my colleagues know in our place. If you're stressed, we normally talk on WhatsApp. You're like, guys, I'm not doing good, And those are the conversation that us young men should have.
And before you actually move away from this mental health issue, I want you to just do a quick check. This week, an assignment: go to the media, look at news. Every time, primetime news, all stations, I guarantee you, not 2 days will pass without you hearing of a story of a man turning against his family, his wife, or his children. A man has chopped off the hands of one of their relatives, their mother, or has burned their children to death. Where are these? Well, it is good that the media is highlighting this, but what is the root cause of these problems? What is the root cause? It's substance abuse, it's alcohol abuse, it emanates from these stresses and pressures that we are pointing to. It is so huge, this pandemic, that it has been hiding, but it is actually I just want to highlight that it needs to be brought to the forefront.
Yes, and to mention something, and this is my own example.
Yeah.
About a year ago, I lost my job. I was an anchor at MediaMax, doing so well, then COVID hit, and within no time, there were no jobs. And for the next 1 year, I did not have a job. I've worked for at least 17 years. And it was just one job after the other. Getting a job was never the problem. And then one time came, and you have no job.
Yes.
There were enough of us. And for that 1 year, I saw a lot of things happen. Yes, that alcohol dependency, because now what else do you do? And some of my colleagues were not necessarily broke, so they could afford the alcohol.
Yes.
And you have the time because you're not working. COVID came with all these issues. You're at home, you wake up, and other people are leaving the house, you're the one left at home. Then what do? You get out and meet the friends who also lost their jobs. You're not discussing anything constructive. You're just drinking more and more and more. Then I realized that so many things began to break down in my life. Your relationships are breaking down. You do not have a job, so your career is stalled. The money you're spending, you can actually see it's going to run out in the next few months. Everything, people who used to call you and call you for ideas, they no longer call you because something has happened. It's like now you do not have ideas. You're no longer a resource. And you realize, wow, my value in this life can actually just change like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And within those 12 months, it is a very, 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 very strange place to be. If you do not get the right help, because Daktari just said, yes, you need to take care of your mental health. But what does it mean to take care of your mental health? Because we do not know even where to seek help from. Do I just go to a doctor and say, hey, Mimi, niko na mashida mengi nyumbani, daktari nisaidie. How do I do that? You know, and when you say just talk to people,
Yes.
who do I talk to? My parents are already feeling, oh, sasa hii kijana yetu nini ilifanyikia? Are those the people to talk to?
No.
You know, there's so much because you can't even turn to anyone.
Yes.
The people who used to call you, no one is giving you time.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's a very, very strange place to be in. No one really needs to feel, because the problem is once your value as a man disappears and you look inside yourself and feel, anyway,
Yeah, what?
I'm worthless.
Yeah.
That's it.
True.
That's it. And so when Daktari says we need to take care of our mental health, I wish you could have said a little bit more and say, okay, this is how you take care of your mental health.
Wow, that's actually quite deep, and I know quite a number of men went through that phase during that period of time, and some actually lost even their families.
Yes.
I know a few who lost their families as a result. So, begs this question: where do we peg our value as men? Where do we peg our value as men? Because I see, because what he talked about, you tend to benchmark how well you're doing against how well your peers are doing. So you look at your peers and you realize, wow, okay, I have 3 kids and I don't even have a girlfriend. Or
You're doing well.
or you look at another and you say, wow, he's in his 4th vehicle. And I'm still on a matatu looking at his vehicle from Instagram. So what are our priorities misplaced? Daktari, you can start us off.
I think our value system as a society, we draw our values from various things. Others turn to spirituality or religion as their compass or true north. Others turn to their parents for advice. Others seek professional help in terms of what do these authorities say about this. So it's broad. I wouldn't give a definite or specific answer in terms of where we draw our values. Personally, I would say I was really influenced by the people in my life. My parents, my relatives, the community in which I grew up.
Yes.
Largely, my values were drawn from that set or cohort.
Or you said something very interesting, Fred.
Yes.
It's like when you lost your job, it's like the ideas you used to give while working,
Yes.
they're no longer as valuable as they used to be. Yet it's the same set
Well.
of individual, the same ideas.
When I got my job back, they started calling me for ideas. So I don't know.
Well, okay. That's very interesting because now the aspect of accountability, I want us to touch on that a bit. Because I realize that sometimes men get into a lot of trouble. You get yourself into debt. No one knows about it. You're struggling with it, and you find yourself on a slippery slope. You don't know how to get yourself out, yet you don't want to talk to anyone, just to maintain an image. So how important is accountability to you? I know as men we have different stages of life. Probably you're a young guy, you're just trying to find your headway in your career. Then of course you start a family. Now you're a parent. You're also trying to advance in other areas of life. And then of course you have your children, the teens, then eventually adults. But now at each of your stages, and I want to hear a response from each of you, at your current stage of life, do you have an ecosystem or accountability system around you being a man and just keeping you in check?
Yeah, I would say so. Being a professional, first of all, I'm answerable to a medical body, but not the medical body in general, but my immediate supervisors.
Yeah.
I definitely am answerable to them in terms of my practice, what I do, daily practice. That is professionally.
Yes.
When it comes to social or spiritual, I'm very spiritual, and I have got a few people around me who keep me accountable. A group in church, a cell group, which actually do keep tabs on me, on where I am, what issues am I dealing with or facing, am I struggling with a few things. I definitely am accountable to my spiritual or religious leaders. Socially, I have a family. It is of utmost importance as a man, as men, to be accountable to your partner. Not keeping secret accounts by the side and not letting your partner know. Just because you're a man, you are the head of the family and you make decisions.
Yes.
It is of utmost importance
Yes.
that your partner, you are fully accountable to your partner. So these are just but some of the structures. So they are different, but all of this you have to have an ecosystem, as you've said, that keeps you accountable, keeps you in check. When you go wayward, I have a group of friends who will actually call me out and tell me, Daktari, there, no, I do not agree with your decision. They will call you out when you actually do make a mistake or you are going wayward, and they will return you to the way forward. And of course, it's a group of people who have the same sort of values, set of values that you have,
Right.
not people who will actually be misleading you. Yeah.
Yes, when it comes to relationships, and I'll go back to that. Relationships, I'll say it again. And when I say relationships, I don't just mean love relationships. It could be a relationship with your father, relationship with your mother, relationship with some of your friends,
Yeah.
and of course, relationship in a long-term marital union.
Yes.
Or even a girlfriend or boyfriend, because all these things do matter. These are the people that you interact with the most. For you to be accountable to someone, they have to be constantly with you.
Yes.
If your parents are in Mombasa or in Kakamega, they may not be able to really hold you accountable because, and you mentioned the issue of debt, because this is a day-by-day thing. Borrowing has been made easy. With your mobile phone, you can borrow a lot of money, and you need someone who's there with you constantly
Yes.
to actually help you out of that issue or to help you get some discipline of some sort.
Yes.
And this goes back to relationships. Are you in a relationship with a friend or with another person or with your partner that is of no value, that you do not even feel like you need to be accountable to them? If at all that's the case, then that's not a proper relationship. You need to be in a relationship where you can actually become vulnerable to them without necessarily being feeling judged. That if I'm told I've gotten myself into a lot of debt that is now getting uncontrollable, I need someone who will actually tell me, now you need to stop. How do we get out of this? Yes. So the kinds of relationships you've cultivated will really help you going forward in life. Yeah. If you've not, because I see guys going out for drinks, and you'll find 10, 12 people around one table and they laugh. But once home time, time to go home gets there, everyone goes in different directions.
Yes.
You are not accountable to them.
Absolutely, yeah, true.
And whatever you do, where you will wake up, whatever you'll eat tomorrow, no one really cares. There could be just one or two really good friends,
Yes.
and those are the people who will help you. Cultivate those relationships so that they're meaningful in your life. Just buying drinks and for 15 guys who are just called the boys may not necessarily be a solution.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think we have this. A majority of us young people our peers, we just talk general things. So because it's hard for a guy and it's hard for a young one to disclose or to tell your peer about your financial struggles, or you're addicted to betting, you're addicted to you're in debt. So it's so hard for a young person to tell a peer. So it takes time. And example for me, if I have only like one person, like who I can share my financial, and I know majority of us young people, we don't share about our financial and being accountable financially, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do have a problem.
There is a problem.
We do have a problem. So at least we are pointing out towards some of these issues. And how then do we salvage?
It's a very tricky thing to do, because the society, and you can see the young people growing up,
Yes.
at what point will they be taught?
Yes.
It's like trying to re-educate someone who's already been educated in a certain way.
Yes.
And that's where I think we go wrong. It needs a different mind shift by the entire society to realize that education is key, and not just the formal academic education. It's education about life.
Yes.
Things even to do with saving money. I can tell you for sure, some of us grew without knowing how to save money.
That's true.
You know, it's something you learn later in life. I really hope these were the things we were taught when you're younger, that once you get money, you put some aside. We still struggle with those things.
That's true.
Yeah, up until you learn a very painful lesson, that's when you realize, wow, I need to change the way I spend money.
Yes.
Then you start saving. But I wish that education was offered or brought to my direction much earlier in life. And I think that's a societal issue. Yeah, because we cannot really expect schools to teach those things. Even in the kind of curriculum we have, we do not have lessons on entrepreneurial skills. We do not have all these things. Saving culture, it's not even in our curriculum. Even in the new CBC curriculum, I have not seen anything. I have a child who's in CBC.
Yes.
Okay, fine, let's wait and see.
Yes.
But so far, I think, and it goes back to the family. If you're a parent, if you're raising young people, if you can teach them how to save, you can teach them how to handle money as young as they may be, it will go a long way. And it doesn't really have to be a classroom kind of affair.
Dr.
I think change emanates from a personal decision. It has to be both societal, but the individual themselves. They need to be determined to change or progress. in life for us to see any real or meaningful change. And I think fora such as this and the International Men's Day occurrences such as this, we need to put to the fore the issues that are affecting men, raise more awareness that it is actually a problem in society that we're having with our boys, our men.
Yes.
We go to some counties, like half of the men and the women are even complaining that our men have turned to alcohol. They do not even come home. Our men are impotent. These issues need to be addressed. They need to be brought to the fore. So I think, for one, just raising awareness. And when we are aware that actually there is an issue or a problem, then and only then can we take small steps, individual steps towards change or in the right direction.
All right. So the theme being better relations between men and women. And now, of course, we've seen in the past 2 decades, there's been a lot of traction or movement around empowerment of women. So I think men at some point have taken a backseat to the point that we are now almost in a crisis where we feel like there's accelerated growth among the girl child than the boy child, to the point that now the boy child is becoming more and more timid. What are your thoughts around that, Fred? I know it's one of those things.
It is true. It is true, and you can see flashes of attempts by men on social media to try and shore up the boy child as well. Just give him some props to hold on to, because yeah, it's true. The boy child was neglected. Women are very powerful. Women are very powerful simply because they talk, they associate, they meet, they pour out, they open up their hearts, they do all these things. And men, on the other hand, keep to themselves. And you'll realize it's very easy to find a man seated alone somewhere
Yes.
than a woman seated alone. Women are always in a group. Yeah?
That's true, yeah. That's true.
But for a man, you'll just find a man seated alone somewhere just thinking about his life.
Yes.
I think men need to be there for other men. And that's where we probably have missed out, because women, the expectations of the man are so high. And you're expected to be successful, you're expected to do well in school, you're expected to take care of your siblings, you're expected to take care of your family, your children, your aging parents, and it can be overwhelming. It is actually overwhelming. You said we are going towards a crisis. No, we are in a crisis.
Yes.
I believe the male society is in a crisis. We do not know, do I go forward? Yet the expectations on you are still the same.
That's still the same, yeah.
Believe you me, however much they may say female empowerment, the woman is as good as a man, you wait and fail on your responsibilities as a man. That is when you'll know there's no equality or equity. They may say I can do as much as you,
Yeah.
but when you sit back and allow it to happen,
Yes.
they will not be happy with you. Yes, you're still expected to act as a man. You're still expected to be the man. All these responsibilities, you have to take care of them. So you need, and I think an opportunity such as this, the International Men's Day, is when you take you get to sit back and ask yourself, how can I take care of myself?
Yes.
Because I think that's the root problem. We do not take care of ourselves. We take care of everyone else. Our society expects us to. But remember, this is like a bank.
Yes.
A man, for me to be able to give this much to all these people, of which I'm expected to,
Yes.
and now no one is giving me a break, and no one will. Society and life will not give you a break as a man.
Yes.
Tomorrow, even if you don't have money, your children have to go to school.
Yeah.
Wefanya kile utafanya, we
Yes.
do not really care.
Yeah.
If the woman steps up and does that, oh, the backlash you will receive,
It's even worse.
it will make you feel worse. So how do I fill this bank
Yes.
constantly to ensure that I'm okay,
Wow.
so that I can be able to give tomorrow and the other day, because no one will give me a break.
Wow.
Do not expect a break, even if you lose your job.
Yes.
I've lost my job once, believe you me. No, that is not even a break.
no break.
There's no break.
There's no break.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I mean, I actually concur with these thoughts. I would like to give you an interesting statistic. back in the early 90s, enrollment into medical school, there was scarcely any females. Say male to female, it was 90 to 10, but currently the trend is being reversed. I would say currently the admission into medical school, we are seeing more females, more than 50% actually females than males. What is happening to this boy child? Going to other courses, education, sociology, Bachelor of Arts and whatnot, the trend is the same. We are getting more and more women going into these institutions of higher learning, coming out empowered. But where did the boy child go to?
Wow.
They are turning to drug dens, video game dens, gambling. And consequently, opportunities that will come, opportunities in this society will only come to those who are empowered. I dare say right now, if you do not have papers, even house helps require papers. You have to have some basic form of education, at least secondary school level, before you are employable to this just manual labors, not even specialized set of skills. Where is the boy child going to go to with the current trend that we are seeing? We have empowered the girl child, but it shouldn't be to the detriment of the boy child. We are in a crisis. I do concur with my colleague in this panel. We are in a crisis. We need to realize, alarms need to be ringing, that we also need to empower this boy child who nowadays they do not have the same opportunities. Google how many scholarships are available. Scholarships, women are encouraged to apply. Jobs, women are encouraged to apply. But what about the men? Yeah. Because both genders are equal.
Wow, those are solid points right there. We're actually coming to the tail end of this conversation. I believe this conversation should not end here. It's something that should be an ongoing conversation, and I do know that there's a lot that men can discuss around just improving their status. I like what Fred said. You ensure that you are okay.
Oh yes.
Yeah, ensure that you're okay so that now on your bit, you can be able to take care of everyone else, because it's an expectation, it's a blind expectation. Yeah, so there's a controversial question that has come on the chat section, and I don't know what your views are about it. Would you be okay to move? I know, of course, both of you are married, but just take it as a hypothetical, or even based on your values. Would you be able to move into a woman's house in the event that, yes, you've come together, it's a relationship, you both there? I'll start with Gadesha right here. Would you move in? Because I know we've seen it in social media.
Yes.
There's been a lot of talk around
Yes.
that. Would you be okay?
Okay, no. I'll not be okay. I'll not be comfortable. The reason being, basically, what the society has declared defines a man is you need to be responsible. You need to be like the man. You get what I mean. So, I believe a lady should come at my place and join me, not me going to her place. Reason being, I want to feel entitled, like I've bought everything in this house. Like, like I was there, you know what I mean? So, like, because in some instances you'll find if you might move. I have peers who move to their ladies' houses, and in most cases, if things go south, in most cases, the guy just moves with a bag. So, yeah, because of those experiences that I've seen my peers go through, for me, no.
It's one of those interesting questions.
Yes.
Because society expects you not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends on at what level of your life you're in.
Yes.
Let's say you are doing very well, then you're dating someone. When you lose your job, you lose everything you have, and you have nowhere to go. Then this person tells you, okay, fine. As you get back on your feet, because there's still that expectation,
Yes.
you will get back on your feet.
On your feet.
So it's not even if, and it should be the last resort.
Yes.
Even if you get into that situation, it should not be a permanent situation.
All right.
Yes, it should be that agreement that yes, I need a place to crash for a few weeks, or 1 month or two, then I get back on my feet and I get my own place. Because it is an expectation. Yes, you will not be okay there. You should not get comfortable. You should not even see it as your place. So don't get comfortable. Don't start walking around in shorts and stuff like that. You do not know. So many dynamics.
Yes.
But yes, if you're down there,
Yeah.
don't be too proud.
Alright.
Don't be too proud.
Alright.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to accept help. And if the boys are not offering you that help,
Yes.
Why not?
why not?
Yeah, true.
But just remember, there's an expectation
Yes.
that you'll get up and you'll get your stuff in order.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like Terry, you share the same views?
I mean, he's echoed my mind.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes you are in a rut and you really need to get on your feet.
Yeah.
Caveat, get back on your feet. Yes. And don't lay on your laurels as a man
Yes.
and expect and change our societal expectations that it is the woman to provide for you. As a man, you're the provider. You need to get up on your feet, go out, provide.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we could go on and on about this, but I'm afraid you have to bring it to a close. But I just want to hear your parting shots. On this International Men's Day, what would you like to tell the men out there, just in light of COVID, in light of the general elections coming up, in light of the challenges that came with COVID that has probably destabilized quite a number of men who find themselves in a very precarious situation, facing the challenges ahead. What would be your parting shot for the men? I'd start with Peter, all the way to Dr. Ari.
Okay, for me, my parting shot, I'll basically address the young people, and for me, my advice is stop the YOLO mentality. Let's address the things that are happening to us, the things that are affecting us, be it health, example mental health. Let's talk about that. Let's reach out. Don't be alone. Reach out to any person that you can reach out to, and discuss your issues, the things that are affecting you. Let's be open. I think that's the advice I can give to the young people. Thank you.
Yeah, in the Bible, there's a place where you're told to love your neighbor as you love yourself. So that is an indication that you need to love yourself. Yeah. First,
Yes.
you need to take care of yourself as a man, because these expectations are so real. Let no one cheat you that the expectations will become lesser. They will become real, and reality will hit you. You will fail sometimes,
Yes.
and that's just reality. And there'll be moments of uncertainty. They will definitely come. But remember to take care of yourself, because even though in those moments of uncertainty, expectations on you as a man still remain the same.
I think I would like to end from a professional perspective. As a doctor, I think I've seen a lot of men afflicted with real issues, health issues, and men are suffering outside there. Referring to the Bible, people say, "My people perish because of lack of knowledge." Yeah? And I'm here to give you a bit of knowledge. It is actually very important for men to actually get annual physical examinations, because some of these diseases, if you dare go for annual physical examinations, we do get some of these disease processes early in their stage, and we can mitigate various consequences of the disease. From these examinations, we're able to check things like your BMI, your weight, your waist-hip ratio. We're able to pick things like diabetes, high blood pressure. You need to get your cardiac evaluation, renal examination, prostate examined. These are important things. These are simple things that can be picked up, and if picked up early, you're able to actually prevent a lot of complications that would occur much later. But the unfortunate reality is a lot of Kenyans, a lot of men, the way we've been socialized, we stay with these diseases ravaging our bodies. By the time we show up to hospitals, it's too late to do anything. So it is okay for a man to actually get physical checkups and evaluations regularly to prevent some of these things.
Wow. Thank you so much. Those are powerful parting shots. I would definitely wish that we could be able to do this again, because I think it's an enlightening session. But just to borrow from the scriptures again, it says, like iron sharpens iron, so that does one man sharpen another man's countenance. Also says that from the noble man comes noble plans, and by noble deeds they stand. And true nobility actually comes from becoming the better person today than you were yesterday. And it comes from what Fred says: relationships, accountability, responsibility, and great care of you as a man. So as you enjoy World International Men's Day, just be aware that there are other men around you from whom you can learn. There are men behind you who you can teach, and there are men besides you who you can walk with. So take advantage of all these men that surround us, and let us become better men in our society. So I've been your host, Adila Achega. Until the next session, have a great day and a great weekend ahead.